How much of your net worth is in Facebook?
Zero. Well, not zero. I would say like less than 10% now. I moved everything. So I mean, like I had a very structurally obvious decision, which was, what do I do at the end of last year? Tax rates are going up, and it was an economic decision. And luckily, I actually sold most of it, and I moved it all into LinkedIn and Google. So it turned out to be a good trade.
Although it's doing well lately, right?
But I love Facebook, and I have my little schmuck insurance, and I wish those guys the best.
So when you joined there with how many employees?
I think like if you count like all the user ops folks, there's probably like 100. Yeah.
Okay, and when you left?
2,000 or 3,000.
So how did things not just go like turn into a giant mess, like with that type of product and user growth and that type of sort of company growth?
Well, I think in fairness, I think every one of us who works at a company probably agrees that if something is working, the outside perception is always more positive than the inside realization, particularly for those of us who have high expectations, because we're always running around frustrated with something inside of a company. And I don't think that's dissimilar to Facebook in many ways, meaning everything, things were working, but there are always things you want to do better. And I was always that person, like if I got 95% on a test, I'd want to get 96 or 97, and I just kind of like obsess about the last 5%. And so it's a company that I think that did very well, and I think it got all the big things right. And that's frankly all that matters. It got hiring right, and it got lack of hiring right.
Okay.
Meaning like we found
so
a way
there was plenty of mess.
We found a way to not hire people. Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what happens. Things get successful, people's egos take over, and all of a sudden you're just trying to hire every bloody person you can because it just makes you feel smart. We never did that. That was a business that was run on a few thousand people that in any equivalent company would have probably been 5 to 10 times larger.
Oh, okay.
And I think that makes all the difference, because then what you're left with are really, really good people who are forced to independently figure stuff out, who have to operate by themselves, who have to get stuff done themselves, who have to be effective and be effective on a continuous basis. And then when people aren't that good, you basically figure out very rapid ways of assessing that they're not a good fit or they're not capable, and then getting them out of the company. But when there's 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people, man, you can hide for decades. Right? That shit's, I'm serious,
yeah,
right?
Oh, I know. I mean, sure. You can talk about Microsoft, but you can hide in a 20-person company. Good.
I'm sure like the 9th time you bought WebShots, there's probably a guy that you hired the first time. You're like, how the hell are you still doing here? And he's like, shh, don't tell anybody, shh.
By far the best investment you can make is in yourself. If you invest in yourself, nobody can take it away from you.